Hello and welcome our viewers to another episode of Achievements, where we celebrate the inspiring journeys of extraordinary individuals. I'm your host Abdul Latif Lanizi, and I'll be taking you through this episode, so stay tuned after this report.
The things a person has done make up his or her identity. One of the most important ways to measure your success is by looking at your most important accomplishments. Colleagues, competitors, and the general public can tell how successful a person is by looking at what they have done. Most of the time, it pays off to work hard. Most people think that having a lot of to be proud is a sign of a successful life. When you finish a task, you beat problems or other people to achieve something. People have to work together to reach a difficult goal. If help is needed, everyone should be ready to pitch in and work together. There are many ways to reach a goal, but in the end, it's up to you to decide how it will affect your life. Some people want to be rich and well known on their jobs. Some people think that even small wins are good reasons to throw a party. We are all different, so we all think differently about everything. In the end though, everyone wants to be happy, and everything you do in life will help you to get closer to that goal.
Welcome back our viewers. Today we have the pleasure of featuring Mohammed Lemhani, a talented content creator from Kuwait specializing in cars and also traveling. Mohammed, thank you for being with us at Achievements. We are so glad to have you and to know more about your story.
First of all, thank you for hosting me, and thank you for the time. And hopefully this will be a very interesting
Inshallah.
interview.
And also you're welcome. So Mohammed, can you tell us what sparked your passion about cars and traveling, and what made you to pursue it until this far in your journey?
As a kid, as a boy, being born in the early 80s, I mean, we didn't have what kids have nowadays. So we're limited in terms of technology and programs to watch and everything. There wasn't like one specific show that was played on TV where it shows cars and everything. So I was really into magazines, so I used to save money from school on a daily basis, and then at the end of the weekend I would just go and buy a magazine for 1 KD at the time. And because we have no iPads or no internet, so you come back to the same magazine and read it over and over again until all of the information as a kid gets stored in your brain. So now if you ask me about a car, let's say in the early 90s or early 2000s, I'm sure I know the horsepower and torque and weight and acceleration, because as a kid I've been reading the same information over and over.
Many times. And of course that's how the love and the passion of cars grow in you, right?
Yeah.
But also, what about traveling? Because I think it's connected in somehow.
So there was a book, they renew that book every few years. It's called Atlas. So Atlas is almost like a map of the whole world, and then it goes country by country, and then smaller regions or territories.
City by city, yeah.
So I don't know why I was fascinated, and I was like looking at, and then recently when they introduced like Google Maps, I literally just like scroll my finger and then just roam the world without even moving an inch. I'm just on my couch, or either on the iPad or the mobile. I just move from one place to another. Just I'm fascinated.
It's
so
magical.
Traveling been not a goal, but it was combined with cars, because most of the cars I test drive are outside of Kuwait, so I have to travel. So just
travel so you can test it.
Yeah.
And that's how after like country after country, it grows on you to love also traveling.
Exactly.
So it become two passions in one. So
Yeah.
also you took that as a content creating, and you wanted to create some videos about that in social media. So how do you how do you approach to grow your audience and try always to get more and more followers?
A small part of my story, I was working for a company and I was social media manager. So I knew exactly what social media is. And we started social media where Instagram didn't exist yet. So I know I was there on the job the day Instagram was born. So
You knew the future of it from the beginning.
now, I've seen Instagram start from zero. I remember the day my friend called me and said, "Listen, Instagram is a good app. Maybe you should create the handle for the company you're handling." So because I know social media well, I know how to grow audience and how to speak to them and how to be a reliable source of information. I mean, everybody has information now. Everybody has access to information. But how would you make that information digestible to the average consumer? That's the whole secret.
And of course, you know the secret and you won't tell us.
Well, it's just make it interesting, short, and straight to the point.
Well, you got it. And I think it's corrected. And I heard it before, but I didn't know that it's really affecting. Short, interesting, and straight to the point.
Straight to the point.
Well, you got it. Also covering over many topics of cars, because you know, over the months that we know many cars will be released, many cars will be like you can test it. So how do you stay up to date, even though that sometimes you have to travel 2 countries in a month? How do you stay up to date, and how do you know the latest updates in cars?
So recently the world is just at the palm of your hand. If you have a mobile and you have internet, then you have access to everything. So
Turn on notifications, I think.
no, I hate notifications, by the way, but because it's a choice. I mean, if you have the time, you have enough time just to look through, let's say, your homework. So I'm going to, let's say, a car show. I know what cars are going to be released, what are the engines and everything. People need the information right now. And the whole idea is this world is changing. If you are not up to date, people will start looking for another source of information, and then you start lose audience day by day.
Yeah. So I think it's really hard to handle for about the social media and how to let your followers stick.
Yeah.
But you also mentioned at the start of the interview that you were reading magazines over and over and you were collecting it. So how do you think that reading these magazines shaped your journey and shaped your knowledge about automobile?
I still remember the oldest magazine I have was from 1992. I was just a little kid saving money to buy magazines, and by storing them, you just keep reading over and over again, and then after 4 or 5 years, the same car just have a new model. So I would just go and read all about the old model. So when I read about the new one, I already know what are the changes exactly. Plus, because people used to write articles, that was probably one of the easiest media transferred at the time. I started reading well. And then in the year 2000, I switched to English magazines to improve my language. I mean, I studied in government schools. I remember from people from my age will remember we used to get English in middle school.
Yeah.
So you have people like, you have kids at the age of, I don't know, 11 or 12,
they don't know
singing
anything.
ABCD, which is now KG stuff. So I studied English a little bit late, but I improved my English by loving cars. I started forcing myself to read English magazines.
So it shaped your whole life, not only your journey and inspiration in cars.
In a way.
In a way, because if it wasn't that, I would say that Mohammed Lemhani until now can't speak English. Maybe.
So I improved my language. I improved even my photography because I used to carry a camera and go everywhere. So I learned photography. I took lessons. I took classes just because I love cars. It wasn't making any money at the time. I was paying money actually, like any hobby.
For a lot of people, when you tell them that they will pay money for their hobby, they would say, okay, at the beginning, but after that, they would say, no, I would actually expect to get money, to get paid because of what they do. For sports, let's say, for content creating, for example, but doing that on your passion because something you love, Mohammed, I don't think that getting paid, it's what was important for you.
It wasn't even the plan.
It was important.
No, it wasn't the plan.
It wasn't the plan.
No.
So the plan maybe was only to do something that you love, to cover it and make it all everyone knows about it?
Just a kid who loved cars. Started like this, and still like this.
Just the kid
But
who
just
loves
with some gray hair now.
Well, I
So
think
that-
it's really magical. So how has social media made a significant impact on your role? Because had a social media account to try to upload some videos about cars. I think it's really magical and it's really good. But how would you do that, and how would you adapt about the latest updates, the latest maybe let's say applications, social media? Do you go with it, or you stick only in one account?
You have to follow the trend. So if there's a new application that everybody is just moving to, you cannot say no, this is not for me, I'm too old for this, because you're going to be forgotten for another generation.
Exactly.
So Twitter was there since 2006, Instagram 2011, TikTok recently just took over. So you have to be up to date, because the younger generation is actually using TikTok more than any other application. And this is how you build a brand. If you would love your brand to be known from people at a younger age. So social media is really powerful. Plus, and opposite to traditional media, social media creates conversation. So you actually can speak, and then people can reply or share or comment or even send you a direct message regarding that content that you just posted. So it is actually a two-way communication with a community. It's not just you and your friends in a douaniya or a closed place or within a family. No. It is something global. So I have followers, I guess, from all over the globe now, just because I sometimes write in Arabic, sometimes I write in English. So it appears to other people who are interested in the same subject.
This is actually one of the things that I wanted to ask you about, is how to ensure that the content that you're creating, it's in a competitive standards, because sometimes you would try to reach audience from all over the world. Sometimes you try to reach audience in different ages. So how can you tell us more? How do you ensure that?
So competition is there. I mean, content creation started the late 1800s. I mean, but the mean of showing that content has changed. So from magazines to TV to radio to so we have social media now. So everybody has a mobile, and the mobile has a camera. So everybody can broadcast news.
Everyone above 3 years old, they have it. Yeah.
So I created my own competition in Kuwait, because for a while I was, let's say, doing this alone. There was no competition. And then I encouraged other people to do it, because they motivate me to come up with something new, to come up with something different. Because if you're alone, you have no competition, you cannot tell how good or bad you are until you have somebody like a benchmark, and then you say, I want to be better than this, I want to be better than this, I want to achieve this. So I actually cultivated my competition, and we are good friends, really good friends. And this is probably one of the things that motivate me to come up with the latest and follow the trend.
So the competitions is really one of the things that made you better.
It's healthy.
It's helped a lot.
Yeah.
Well, I think this is really good way you say it, because I didn't know that competition sometimes became to you to make appear of the bad side of a competitor, but in a competitions in a good way, who has like the sports soul in his mind, that gets what the competition has and needs. But exactly as social media, I think it's really magical.
It's just how the way you look at competition, then you decide if you want to make it useful to you, or you want to make it something that is bad and gives you like anxiety. But no, I enjoy competition.
And what about the social media? Do you enjoy that you are a little bit, that everyone knows you, especially about cars and traveling? Do you feel good about that? Because for a long time, we know that in social media, if you're famous and a lot of people know you, becomes really a down thing to you. Because, for a long time, you get some bad comments that influence some bad people. So do you think that this will maybe be bad after a while?
I would say yes. Fame is probably the worst thing that happened to me. I'm a very private person. I don't share things that happen inside the house. So I do content all the time on every platform, and every platform has a different content. So if you watch YouTube and then you go to Instagram, you will find something completely different.
Yeah.
There's nothing repeated, because I don't want to lose you. I don't want you to follow me on a single platform and then you say, yeah, this is enough, I'm going to watch everything. So every let's say, platform has a different content completely. I have a different personality.
This is a good idea. You actually forced me to follow you in more than one platform.
Because I don't want you to stick to one, so I give you different content in every platform. Plus, from the beginning, I never planned to be famous. I never planned to do this for, let's say, big companies or being on social media and everything. But I never had an incident where I had something, let's say, deleted because it was bad content. And I always make sure that if you watch my story and your whole family is surrounding you, you will make sure that I will never say something wrong.
Well, that's really good, because we actually need that, and we hope that more of the famous people in these platforms will follow that, because unfortunately we've seen too many things that sometimes you had to make the phone or the iPad away from your kids. And thank you for that, Mohammed. Of course, Mohammed, we have more questions, but we will take a short break and we will continue after that report for your audio viewers.
Mohammed Lemhani is a professional content creator from Kuwait. Mohammed is specialized in creating content for cars and traveling. He first started in 2009 and focused on his goal even more. In 2014, his episodes and content creating videos were presented as a weekly program for everything that included cars, such as the latest cars, shapes and sizes. Mohammed also talked about the speed of the different cars and what car is most affordable. Mohammed is very special and talented. He covers mostly every topic that involves all of the cars of the world. Mohammed's love for cars began at a very young age. He used to collect and read magazines that were provided in Kuwait. In the year 2000, magazines from outside started to be available in Kuwait. By that time, these magazines helped Mohammed to understand the car field even more, and before social media appeared. Today, Mohammed assured us that social media platforms have helped him a lot to communicate with others and create content. However, Mohammed said that his presence on all social media platforms is definitely not easy. Because he loves what he does, he continues to work hard and respond quickly to market changes and technology. We are proud of you, Mohammed, and keep up the great work.
Welcome back, our viewers, as we continue our interview with Dr. Mohammed Lemhani. As of course, Mr. Mohammed, since you have this incredible experience that you had also from traveling, can you share with us some of the memorable moments that you had during your journey when you traveled?
I remember one time we landed in Frankfurt and I thought I lost my passport. I couldn't find it. Went back to the hotel because it was close by the airport, so I had to run to the hotel. I asked him, I told him, listen, I just checked out. I need to check the room because I can't find the passport. So the guy was like freaked out because losing a passport is really bad. And I started thinking, who should I call? Because Frankfurt is far from Berlin, the embassy is in Berlin, I have to go to Berlin, I have money but I don't have passport, and then I have to get this permit. And it was actually 4 different test drives in 4 different countries, and that was the first one. So if I lost my passport now, I have to go back to Kuwait and I'm gonna lose all of
the track of everything.
Yeah, so I told my friends, listen, you have to go. I said, no, we'll stay here with you. And then I found my passport, flew at the evening, 2 connections. I had to pay for the ticket, it was really expensive. But even though, if they ask me now, would you pay double that money to get your passport back, I would say yes. And luckily I didn't lose a passport yet, but that was probably one of, let's say, the moments where I felt scared, because I don't like losing stuff. I never lost a phone, I never lost a key, I never lost a passport. So for me, it was just the fear of losing stuff.
Well, I think it's really scary, especially when you're in a whole different country. And as you said, you have a track of things that you have 4 test drives. Where did you find the passport then? You have to complete the story.
Because I travel a lot, I have to find a gym in a hotel. So I usually take my supplements with me, like small packs of proteins.
Yeah.
So you just tear it up, mix it with the water and drink it. So they were over the table, and the passport was there, and they were almost the same size. So I collected everything, put them in a plastic bag just in case anything with pressure on the airplane just pops out. It doesn't ruin your whole clothes. So they were in a plastic bag. So I searched the bag, never knowing that the passport is there with the protein packs. I never opened the bag.
I mean, I would never know. I would never notice that my passport would be with the supplements.
I squeezed them, and I was like, this is not powder. So I opened it, and it was the passport. There was something.
The same day or after 2 days, maybe?
No, it was like 2 hours later.
Oh,
I
okay.
actually
Thank
called
God.
the embassy and everything, but I called them, no, I found it.
Well, that's actually a good thing. But of course, since you have this wonderful dedication about your work, cars and traveling, and try to content create and try to amuse people and try to let them have fun with the content that you are creating. And by the way, I love watching cars and I love watching test cars. And thank you about your good work, Mr. Mohammed.
Thank you.
Can you tell us, how did you overcome the challenge that you had on your journey? Because of course, there are too many challenges.
So first of all, you have competition, because to be noticed by big companies, you have to do something really excellent. So we started testing cars just for fun, me and friends. I remember I woke up one morning. I had a blog before creating the YouTube channel. So one of my friends told me, listen, instead of photos, why don't you do a video? So I said, yeah, a video is not a bad idea. So we took his car. I called 2 of my friends, and we went to this place. Do you have a camera? Do you have a microphone? Bring them. Meet me at 6 a.m. I washed the car myself, took it to the location. We finished filming.
You washed it by yourself, the car?
Sorry?
You washed it by yourself, the car?
Yeah, because I got the car at night, and we were filming 6 a.m. So
okay.
I need the car to be clean. Episode 1 has to be perfect. So I remember episode 1 was professional cameras, GoPros, microphones, drone. So I said, I only have 1 episode. I'm not gonna put it on YouTube and then just wait. So we did 5 episodes, and then we started posting 1 episode weekly. And then everybody noticed the nice videography, the scenery, the timing. The cars are all clean. Even the logos of the tires has to be centered. I was like really particular about details. So this is what made us stand out, to be noticed. So competition and to be noticed, we spent money. We spent a lot of money just for fun. I mean, filming gears, because the cameras get updated, microphones get updated. So we really spend money. But at the end, I'm really proud of the work I've been doing with the team.
Well, I think it's really magical, because when you were explaining about how you were focusing on the details, I mean, you washed the car by yourself. I don't think that you slept before you test drive. Did you? Did you have your
No,
sleep?
I never thought I'm gonna hold like a paper and prepare everything. So everything I know is in here.
There was a script also?
No, nothing. I cannot do scripted material. I can't. I just can't.
Okay.
I can't read.
Okay.
No, I can read.
Yeah.
But I mean, it would actually made me
a little bit more confused.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
because you don't have to memorize everything.
Show me the numbers I need to know.
Yeah, horsepower,
yeah,
torques.
and then I'll be fine. Because one of the main characters that will make you reliable and a source of information is you never say maybe, I think, I guess. Those words are not reliable. If I'm gonna buy a car and I'm gonna listen to you,
If I say maybe, would you buy it?
No, you cannot say maybe. If you say maybe it's like 200 horsepower, it is somewhere on the internet. Just do your homework, and then you don't have to say maybe.
Exactly.
So I used to make sure every number is accurate and every number is verified, because when people refer to me, I need to be reliable. If you are reliable, then I would trust you in, let's say, my next purchase or any additional advice you have on cars.
Well, I think that's really wonderful. And also continuing what I said about you dedicating on your work, trying to make everything looks perfect. That means that Mohammed Lemhani, he has the passion of cars. I mean, this is what you love, yeah. And also you try to make also people love it. But can you tell us, how do you make sure that you try to find the balance between showing the excitement of driving a cars and also promoting responsible driving?
So we did a few drifting scenes, but they were all in a closed, controlled environment. I've never promoted street racing in my life, I've never done any drifting scene on a public road, and I don't do anything illegal during all of the episodes, because I know for sure that younger generation are watching, and if they look up to somebody, I don't want them to think that this is normal, this is okay, this guy is above the law. No, I want people actually to drive very responsible. We don't do something dangerous or hazard in a public road, or when so if it's a sports car, we usually find a racing circuit where we go. You have marshals, you have firefighters, you have ambulance, you have people who take control.
All the
of
safety
everything.
precautions there.
Exactly. So this is where we usually go and test really like sports cars, but we don't promote or do any drifting scene, even if it's nice and it's probably gonna bring more audience. But I want to be reliable, not fun. It is fun, but I don't want to do something that will encourage other people to do it because I did it.
Exactly. And Mohammed, also you have built a really remarkable impact and presence in social media. So can you tell us, because for a long time, we see that we have many car reviews, many people have been doing that, but you have, as you said before also, it's really a big competition. But since you built a remarkable presence on this social media, how do you engage with your audience, and how do you try always build a community around your content?
First of all, you have to create this two-way conversation. If they think that you're a robot, they will not interact with you anymore. And when interaction goes smaller and smaller, the algorithm of those platforms will actually neglect you and will not show you to more people, even if they are not following you. So you have to create this conversation, because if people comment and like and share your content because it's nice and because it's informative and because then you will just go viral more and more. But if you just limit your posts or conversation to a one-way communication, like this is it, this is what I have, just deal with it, then you will start losing audience and they will start losing interest in your content. So I think one of the challenges is to engage with all of the followers and community, because they created you. You didn't create them.
Exactly. And also, Mohammed, for the future, of course, how do you see yourself in the future of content creating, especially here in Kuwait? And how do you think that you have a role and impact, especially on younger generation who maybe wants also to be a content creator, to do some car reviews, maybe inspired by Mohammed Lemhani?
So first of all, I think content creation currently is probably video is the most dominant medium. But I think in the future, if it's going to change to something very drastic, it's going to be something like hologram. So we will start probably shoot from different angles using drones or whatever, and then you will have something like a shower box, and then you have lights from above and lights from below, and then you have lights from here, and it will give you this like hologram effect or a 3D effect. This might be the future, but I have no idea.
It might be.
I'm just speculating. But my advice to all of the younger generation who think or into any hobby, it shouldn't only be cars. If it's tech, if it's traveling, if it's cars, if it's football, if it's mobile phones nowadays record 4K, good audio, so everybody can do his own content. It doesn't need that complexity that we faced when we started. So I think it is much easier now. But always make yourself a reliable source of information. If you're going to bring information, make sure it is reliable and verified, and just give a good image about your country or wherever you're from, and don't do anything illegal, because it either will be backfiring at you, or you're going to influence someone who's younger than you and probably look up to you as a role model.
Thank you, Mohammed, for everything. And of course, in a short answer, can you tell us what, of course, do you have any upcoming projects or collaboration on the future, and any projects that you want to, for our dear viewers, to follow you with?
I have 4 trips coming. all of them include
Car reviews?
car reviews, tips about traveling, because one of them is actually just going around one country in a circle, driving for almost 2,000 kilometers, just showing the beauty of that country. So yes, from now up until the next 2 or 3 months is going to be fully packed.
Thank you, Mohammed, for everything. Unfortunately, our episode had come to an end. Do you have one last thing, one last advice, maybe to our viewers, or maybe one thing to say before we end?
Just create content, good content, informative, nothing that would stick to you in the future with a bad reputation.
Thank you, Mohammed, for everything. We're really glad to have you here with us. Inshallah, your next trips and you're also on the future, all of your projects, all of what you wanted to accomplish will be accomplished and achieved. And thank you for everything.
Thank you for your time, and thank you for taking up this heat.
Thank you, and you're welcome, of course. To our viewers, thank you for joining us at the episode of Achievements. We hope that Mohammed's story has inspired you to pursue your passion and embrace the power of content creation. Stay tuned for more inspiring stories on the future. We will see you tomorrow, and goodbye for now.